Hi everyone, I'm Carol Featherstone of North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Last week we made a dish on our website, which is cookingbycarol.com, of spaghetti sauce, and we had over 1,000 views on just making spaghetti sauce. So today I've decided I'm going to make a lemon pound cake. My son-in-law loves pound cake, so I'm going to make this one and take it home to him when we go to North Carolina next week. When I first began cooking, I couldn't cook. We were both in college, my husband and I, and the first dish I cooked was beef stew. It was so bad that we had to throw it out. Even the dog turned his nose up and ran away. So I made up my mind then I was going to have to learn how to cook. When we graduated from college, Keith went on a job that he was traveling all the time. So I spent my time trying to learn how to cook. I read recipe books, I went to my grandmother's, I went to my mother-in-law's, and they helped me tremendously. But there were days that I burned up the whole pan and I would just throw it in the trash can. Well, my mother-in-law kind of got wind of what was going on, and she would come to our outdoor trash can when she realized I was gone, and she would take the pans and clean them up and give them back to me. So I decided after that I was going to make a business out of food. So I had been catering for 25 years when I retired and loved every minute of it. Some weekends we had 4 weddings in a weekend. Sometimes we had 2 or 3 in a day. But I had great people working for me and helping me out, and we became friends and still are today. One of my favorite people that used to work for me just passed away at age 91. I cannot tell you the thousands of biscuits that she made standing at my kitchen cabinet, and we miss her terribly. So today let's talk about my website briefly. It's cookingbycarol.com. It tells all my story about the cooking. Every week we're changing recipes so that you will be able to see things that aren't going to be in the cookbook that I'm getting ready to publish, which is going to be called Cooking by Carol. It's going to have lots of stories in it. It's going to have a lot of different recipes. We're going to have a Greek section. We're going to have an Irish section, and just a good old down-home comfort food. So let's start today by getting ready with our lemon pound cake. So in your, I use a KitchenAid mixer. I didn't used to have one, and my husband bought one for me. And after cooking with it, I don't know how I ever cooked and didn't have one. So we're going to take 3 sticks of butter and put them in your bowl, 3 sticks. And then you're going to turn your mixer on just enough to start getting it turning. Usually I have the butter softened, so there's no problem. But today's been one of those days that I had more to do than I had time to get done. So when I'm out of butter at my house, I'm out of everything. So I went and picked up butter, but by the time I picked it up and got here to the studio, there was not enough time for it to get softened. So it's going to take it a few minutes longer just to do that. But you want to get it on to where it's going to be really light and fluffy. And the next thing you're going to add, and you can turn your mixer down just a little bit, is going to be 3 cups of sugar. And just let it incorporate by continuing to let the beaters run. And then once you get all the sugar incorporated with the butter, you're going to turn the mixture up really high, and you're going to beat it for about 5 minutes. However, today we're not going to take 5 minutes to beat. We're just going to get all the sugar put in. There we go. And I'm going to turn the mixer up on high, so you can hear it. Sometimes when the butter is not softened enough, you hear it making all these kind of noises. I used to have a plastic thing that went over the outside of it to keep things from kind of splashing out, but in all the years that I've used it, unfortunately it's not working. So I haven't ordered a new one because I'm just happy. So anyway, we're mixture down and use your spatula and make sure that you get all of the butter and the sugar that's accumulated on the sides, get it down into where it is incorporated with everything. So just do that. Make sure you do that. Okay, we're going to turn it back over and we're going to turn it on low. And then I'm going to crack 4 eggs. Now I always crack my eggs into a bowl to make sure that the eggs are fine. These eggs are fresh, just got them at first before last night, and we put in 1 egg at a time. And we beat for a few minutes after each egg. So, all together, 4 eggs. Put them in 1 at a time. Beat well after each. Got a little tiny flake right there. There we go. Didn't want to go down. Egg number 3. There it goes. I'm going to turn the mixer up just a little bit so we'll get a better texture. You will find that many people use plain flour to make pound cake. I choose to use cake flour. I have found that cake flour makes the consistency of the cake very smooth, and you'll see if you use cake flour, and I will show you after we get the cake done today what actually it's going to look like. So, alright, you've done this. You've done the eggs, you've done the butter and the sugar. So now, what we're going to do is it's a half a teaspoon of soda and a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to pour that into 3 cups of cake flour. And I'm going to take a spoon and stir that up together so it'll get incorporated in the flour, and turn the mixer down just a little bit. And you want to add the flour with a spoon. It's just like, there you go. And as you see it incorporate, just keep continuing to add by the spoonful. And you're going to do it alternately with a cup of buttermilk. So I'm going to put a little bit of buttermilk, and then I'm going to keep adding the flour. A little bit more buttermilk. A lot of people say buttermilk. I hate buttermilk. But guess what? When you taste this cake, you won't taste the buttermilk at all. But it's because you add, many times when you make recipes and you use buttermilk, you use soda. And it helps to make the cake a little bit bigger, if that's what you want to call it, a little bit bigger. But you will see that this cake will cover the whole bundt pan that you're going to put in. I've already greased and floured it ahead of time, and it's set aside. So, got to keep adding the flour and the buttermilk. Keep adding. Keep beating. Seems like it takes a long time to get this done. It really doesn't. But if you make a cake the proper way, you don't want to get hurried by not getting the butter beat up like it should be. And so here we go. This is the very end of the flour. And most recipes will tell you to finish the liquid first, and the last thing that you put in the cake is a little bit more of the dry ingredients. And so I'm going to spoon the rest of the flour in. And it's almost ready. And the last thing that it tells us is to add 2 tablespoons of hot water. So I put the hot water in, and there we go. It is all ready. The last thing we do is put a teaspoon of lemon extract, and that goes into the cake as you're beating at the very end. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit and make sure that we have it nice and fluffy so that when we pour it into our greased and floured stew pan, but today I'm not using a stew pan, I'm using a butt pan. It makes a much prettier cake in my opinion. So that's why I'm doing that. So we're going to turn it off and we're going to lift it up. And if you all have children who love to eat the cake batter, my children used to get mad at me because I was always getting every piece, every stitch of the batter in the bowl to them. And they didn't like it. So I'm going to take this off, and this is how I do it. I just take my finger and I go around like this, and I go around on the inside, and I do this and this, and I get it all on there. Then, if you've got children, they've got a little bit left to eat. So make sure that you let them help. And if there's any flour that's come to the edges of the bowl, like there has been here, I'll show you. Or maybe I will, maybe I won't. I can't get the bowl off. There we go. Okay. Alright, so make sure you can see that there's a little bit of flour on the sides here. So just make sure you stir everything in. And then I'm going to take the pan that's been greased and floured. You can see it right here. This is how it looks. And then you're going to take your pan, put it right there, and you're going to put spoonfuls at a time all the way around your pot. And make sure you try to do it as evenly as possible when you're putting it in your tube pan so that it doesn't get more in one place than the other. And I just have always done it like this rather than just pour it in all at one time, because it helps me to get more equal distribution in the pan. So, keep adding. And if anybody likes lemon, you can smell already the lemon extract that I put in it. And smelling is part of it when it's cooking. Oh, it smells so good. One of my neighbors came in the other day when I was making one, and she said, "What is that smell?" And I said, "It is my lemon pound cake in the oven." My grandson and his wife were here this past weekend, and I was able to share the pound cake with them. And my grandson's pretty picky about things, and he said, "Mama, this is a great cake." So it's ready. It's spreading it out so it'll all be even. And then I just take it and take my finger and put it right there. And then it is ready to go in the oven. So we have the oven over here, and we have it on 325 degrees. And the cake goes right in the center of the oven, and it will cook for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So in the meantime, there's a sauce to be made that goes over the top of the hot cake, and I will show you shortly how to do that. I thank you all for being able to watch me this afternoon, and I'm going to show you what the cake looks like when it comes out. This is, I'll show you this way. This is how it looks. This is a most beautiful pound cake. And of course, as I said, we had company, so I had to cut it. So you will see the consistency of the pound cake and how fine it is. And that's because you use cake flour. But when you take it out of the oven, I'm going to tell you what to do. You take in a saucepan, about yay big, don't have to have a great big one, you are going to put in a cup of sugar. You're going to put in the juice of 2 lemons, and then you will have done zest. Use a zester like this and zest your lemon and put them in here as well. And then you're going to turn it on a slow simmer, not really a boil, because you don't want to, you don't want it to get out of hand and get so sticky that you can't use it. But you'll take a spoon and you'll just stir it up really well till everything's done together. And then you are going to put it on simmer and have till the sugar melts. And you can see what it looks like now. And when you put it on a burner, you put it down on as low as you can, and you keep stirring it until all the sugar melts. And then I just turn mine off, and then when the cake comes out, you're going to take something. I buy these just for cake testers. They're actually skewers that you can put fruit on or food on or whatever, but I keep them. And when the cake comes out, you want to take this and you want to go in all of the areas. Just do it like this. Keep stirring and pushing and pushing and pushing all over till you have a lot of holes in it. And once you do this, as the syrup over there is done and the hot cake comes out, you pour it over it slowly, slowly, slowly. Because if you don't, sometimes like this particular cake keeper that I have it on, it wanted to go down into the outside edges. And it's because I was trying to pour it too fast. So you've got to pour it very slowly, and that's what makes your cake really moist. And I let mine sit for a day before it's time to be cut for whatever occasion you're going to do it for. If any of you are interested in the cookbook, which is going to be called Cooking by Carol, you can go to my Facebook page and put on there, contact me. Leave me all your information, and I'll be happy to get back in touch with you as soon as we know the recipe book is going to be coming out. So thank you for being with us today, and next week we're going to be doing old-timey Southern cornbread dressing to get ready for the holidays. But I want to show you. Going to get a saucer out of the cabinet here, and I'm going to cut a piece of the cake. And you can see on the bottom right here, it has a tendency to be a little sticky, and that's the syrup. So let me get a fork. And I want to taste this cake. It is so good. It is so moist. I mean, it's almost addictive. You can't just do, it's like potato chips. You can't just eat just one. So, I hope you all will enjoy this recipe. This will not be in the cookbook, but each week we're going to be doing a different edition so that you'll get more recipes than what the cookbook's going to offer. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye till next week.